Happy New Year! I've got a bunch of fun new game dev videos lined up for the year ahead, but I can't stop thinking about this little flash game I used to play on NewGrounds. It was this fall and catch game where a box follows your mouse and other objects like champagne bottles fall from the top of the screen. I must have played a dozen versions of it, so there had to be a template floating around somewhere. So I thought, hey, why not remake it and give people their own template to customize? So I did. That's what I did. So I created some assets with the New Year's theme and remade the game in under 35 minutes. Then I uploaded the assets so you can make your own version. A better version that probably took over an hour to make. Want to swap in your logo or other assets? Go for it. I try to make it as easy as possible. And feel free to use anything in personal or commercial projects. I'm not a lawyer, but it's all yours to play around with. And if this video helps you out, a like and a sub would mean so much. It really helps grow the channel. So without further ado, this is how to make a fall and catch game in under 35 minutes. Before I start, I just want to say this thing right here, this guy kind of looks like me. Yeah, right? At first I was thinking Pirate Software, but Pirate Software doesn't have the mustache beard combo. So yeah, just want to say thank you. Thank you for the shout out, GameMaker. I appreciate you noticing my hard work. And I look forward to the next year. Okay, let's get into it. So open up GameMaker, select new, game, blank game, give it a project name, and I will start the time as soon as I click let's go. Okay, cool. So first thing, let's open up our room, change the width to 1200, height to 800. We're going to enable room physics right now and change our background color. Let me pull up my notes. I think it is 061C1D. I have done this a few times. You'd think I would remember that by now. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and load in some sprites. I created these sprites. I will find somewhere to host them to give them to you. You are free to use them for your personal or commercial projects. Up to you. I will not come after you. So yeah, let's go ahead and get all these in here. So now I'm going to make some barrier sprites. I'm going to be combining objects in GameMaker that have physics turned on and things that don't. So I'm going to give myself some invisible barriers. The first one is size 20 by 140. This will be the sides, and we'll give it a magenta color. Perfect. So that we can see what we're working with and drop the alpha out when we're ready to get rid of them. I think from here we can duplicate and just say sprite barrier bottom. And this size, I believe it's 100 by 10. So 100 by 10. Perfect. And yeah, so I think, oh yeah, let's make this big. Yeah, I want to start changing the origins. So this has an origin, I think, top center. This is bottom right. The sprite BGs can stay up in that top corner. The bins I want to be bottom center, and the bottle as well. Bottom center. Okay. I think the last one will create a sprite bar, and this will act like our timer bar. And we're going to layer things. So, yeah, let me do this real quick. Edit image, take maybe this light yellow. Yeah, that's good. So here are BGs. We have like frames. So this is like a top frame. This is like a bottom frame. And you see this cut out in both. So the sprite bar will go behind there, and it'll act like a timer, and it'll go up, and when it reaches the top, the time will be over. Easy. Yeah, okay, I think that's all of the sprites we need. Let's go ahead and start with an object controller. No sprite, and we'll go ahead and drop that in our room first, just to make sure that's in there. Okay, perfect. And we're going to be doing a lot with the controller object, so let's go ahead and just start writing some stuff in there. I'm going to start with my globals. So like I said, I'm setting a total time and a timer. And by setting both of these things, I can set the Y scale of sprite bar to be a percentage of these. You know, total time divided by timer, timer divided by total time, and it'll go up. It's just a really clean way to do it, just using two global variables. Yeah, the next thing is an enum. So this will control our game states. We're going to do this instead of switching out rooms. So I think it was... I like to number them so that for testing reasons... Is that good? And then I think here I just want to set game state equals game state dot pregame. Whoa. Game state dot pregame. Okay. Just we'll keep that kind of in the same area. And then we want to spawn things into the room. So we want to spawn a few objects here. We have these background objects. Like I said before, they're going to be like a frame. So we have like an upper and a lower. So I can see right here, it's not that frame. So it's going to be the second one. Image speed equals 0. Image index equals 1, which is the second frame. And we'll set a depth to like 4. And then we can just go ahead and probably duplicate this now. Object BG lower. And then the lower will have the image index of 0 and a depth of, I think, 8. So that we can also make an object bar. Set its sprite to the sprite bar. And set its depth to like 9. Let's see how that works. So... first thing we're going to make at the spawn point is that upper frame. And the lower one is just going to like... the lower one's going to come into focus. Once we move on to intro animation, we'll have it like fade in. Just to give it like a little bit of an animation. The second one is at 109. And this is where I'm spawning the bar. And I said 1019633 just by going to Sprite, clicking on Edit Image, going into the second frame. And then if you look like down here in this bottom corner, you can see, oh my God, what is that called? You know, points on a thing. Points on a grid, X and Y values. And so I kind of clicked in here, see like 109,633. And so by changing the origin of that point, oh, looks like it's kind of caught at the bottom there. That makes me think, oh yeah, we never set this, so this should be bottom right, I think. The origin, resetting the origin on the sprite bar. Oh, now it's all the way over here. So that means bottom left. Yeah, that's where it's going to start, right? So at this point inside of here, this like 633, it's going to start from here and then come out. So yeah, right? Then we can just say... the image Y scale equals 0. Now it disappears. And then we'll move that up in the step event. Okay, you get it. So yeah, let's come back to object controller. Let me just set up some variables real quick. I don't think I ended up using the start counter, but let's build it out just in case. Same kind of thing, just setting up a stagger and a timer so that one can increment and then reset. And yeah, I'll show you what I mean by that right now. So we set up this enum, this game state. Now we actually have to do the switch for it, right? So switch. Ah. So we're just going to call that and say during this, what happens? Oh, what happens? Oh, yeah. We're going to put some text here eventually, but for now, let's just move to the next thing. Ah. Released. Mouse check button released. What did I do wrong? What? Oh. Yes. Okay, so if the button is pressed, move to the next game state, which we will write right now. Okay. Haven't done this in a little bit. Not my first attempt, and my fingers are getting a little tired. Okay. So, yeah, now we're just going to spawn things, right? So once that click starts, then we want to spawn things like the lower, the barrel we're going to use to catch the bottles, that kind of thing. So this is the lower one. Zero, zero again. Okay. So now we need the barrel that we're going to catch it in, which is like the player character that moves around. So we're going to load that in the intro animation before we start dropping bottles, obviously. So yeah, let's go ahead and make those. So we have like the front and the back of the bin. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I have these bins here. Let's move this to the first frame. Just that's how I have it in my notes. Yeah, this is the front of the bin. This is the back of the bin. And bottles fall in between. Then we have these barriers on the side. So this will not use physics, but these will use physics to make sure that the bottle falls in between the bins. Okay. With all that said, I think seeing it will help. So the first thing is we're spawning it too low, right? Well, let's see first if there's anything I want to... Yeah. Let me just make sure I get this stuff out. This is the front. And depth is 5. And now in the step event, right? So first, if y is greater than 680 is the limit I set on my own, doing that thing where I look at the frame. Y minus equals 10. So that should move it up. And then next, if mouse x is greater than 100 and mouse x is less than, what did I say? 920, then x equals mouse x. Okay, so that should move it around. Should we test it? Let's do this first. So first duplicate this. Back bin. Create image index equals 1. Image depth equals 7. And then this should follow the same logic. Now we just have to create them. So we can copy this, paste it, bin front, bin front. Oh, I'm getting nervous. Okay. This is, yeah, I think my third attempt, and this one's actually going. pretty good on time, so. So I'm just going to say if these instances have been created, then it's okay to move on. Whoops. Not necessarily the best way to do it. I could use a counter or something like that, but at least it's making sure all of these things are there. So then once they're all there, then we can move on to playing, right? Ace game state dot playing. Just gonna leave that blank for now. Let's go in and see if everything's moving. So we have this, click in, and they're not moving up. Okay. Let's just go ahead and see. So we are creating, yeah. These need to be created, I think at like, I don't remember. I don't think it really matters because we're resetting them, right? Like as soon as they're being spawned, they're being reset by their step event. Yep, okay, there we go. So yeah, with the bin front and the bin back, it forms this whole barrel thing, and that's where they'll drop. Okay, so now that we have this, we just need, first of all, the bottle to drop. We need the timer to go, and a few more things. So yeah, we need these barriers, right? Let's start with the left barrier. Yeah, we'll just set depth to 1 so that we can see them. And I think most important thing here is the step event. And yeah, okay. Here in bin front, in this create event, this is where we're going to create the barriers. So the why they always reach is 680, right? Ooh. So the first one, I'm just gonna write this so I remember what's what. It's 200 minus 45, 680 instances, object, barrier, left. Right? And then here, if mouse X is greater than 100 and mouse X is less than 920, I use this, well, we have to use this physical position X because we're going to turn on physics on the left and right barriers. So we can go ahead and do that now. We can click solid, uses physics, come into physics, and just set density to 0. So instead, here we just set X, and then here, here in the barrier, we're setting it using this physical position X. Okay. Yep. And then we can just copy this, duplicate. So then we're just setting everything off of the mouse, right? So we know that the bin will be in a certain position because it's set to the mouse X, and we know that these will also be plus, minus, yeah, relative to the mouse X. Yeah. And we just need this bottom. And then kind of the same thing, right? We can just copy this. Except here in the step event, it's just mouse X because we set it to the middle. And solid uses physics. Physics set density to 0. Okay. So now when we come into object bin, we're just going to use this create event because we know it'll just pop once. I guess I don't need this anymore. And then we just want them all to be set 700, 700, 690. Okay. And they're just like slightly offset, and they're going to spawn right into position. We don't have to worry about animating them or anything because they're going to be invisible eventually. Bottom. Okay. What did I do? Object barrier bottom, line 5. Object barrier bottom. Oh, what is this? There. Physical position X equals mouse X. So we got here, here. Okay. Those look a little off. Don't know. Is this off a little? Oh, here's why. In object barrier right, in this create event, we're going to say image X scale equals -1. And that'll just flip it based on its origin point. Yep, okay. That looks a lot better. See how that moves with it? Okay, cool. So yeah, that's all solid, uses physics. I guess we're ready for object bottle. And then the sprite for this will be that. Solid uses physics. And then yeah, we want to set the density a little higher. And then come in here and modify the collision shape. We'll set it as a convex shape. Whoops. I'm shaking just a little. And then just start kind of drawing out some dots. Making sure it stays a convex shape. And these don't have to be too accurate. Yeah, I think that should do it. You want it to reach hard points so that it'll kind of bounce as it goes along. Ah, okay. So now I guess we're ready for game state playing. Yep, okay. So if so this is using the bottle timer to spawn bottle. Where do I set this? Oh yeah. The X is going to be a random range, right? We want it to go somewhere in between 100 and 900. We're going to spawn it up -200. It's going to spawn 2 instances, and it's going to be an object bottle. And then reset the timer. Cool. Now we do the timer. I mean the global timer. So if the timer is less than total time, then ++. Otherwise, game state equals game state.end. Okay. That should make the bottles drop if everything is turned on. And we just need our timer to go, right? So in our step event, remember if I used a lerp for this? I think it's like image.yscale equals lerp image yscale. Oh. image Y scale, and then now it's global dot timer divided by global dot total time, right, to get that percentage. That's the second part of this lerp function. It's like the beginning, where you want it to end up, and then how long you want it to take. I think we're ready to test. Yep, okay. So this drops a bottle. Oh, we didn't set a depth properly. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's looking pretty good, except for all the stuff that was forgotten. So, wow, where do we start first with all of these? What was the first thing I noticed? It take 2 seconds to fix, but we got to do it one by one. Okay, that spawns up. Oh, the depth on those. Okay, so that'll make it spawn in between. Now with this object bottle, we can create a step event if y is greater than room height plus 200 instance destroy. Then we can also do a collision event with object barrier bottom. Global dot score plus plus instance destroy. Okay. Then while we're here, I think we might as well drop out the alpha in these. So image alpha equals 0 on everything that's a barrier. Okay. We got that. We got our timer going in the corner. Got bottles dropping. Got them falling in. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Yep. So you kind of got to get it like right on. But that's the fun of it, right? I mean, that looks pretty good. Looks a little rough there, but yep, they're going in. Okay, we don't have that much time left, so yeah, we got to come into the, let's do the draw event now. So in object controller, draw. Oh, we need fonts. Oh no. Create font. I think its font score is Montserrat. These come from Google Fonts. I do not remember this. Most of these are free, but I'm not sure. I'm using Yellowtail, Montserrat, and Roboto. 3 different fonts, just to make it look nice. Yeah. So it's Roboto, Yellowtail, and Montserrat from Google Fonts. I'm pretty sure they're all free to use for commercial projects, but definitely check the license on those. Okay, so first, set the font and the color. And then we're going to draw this thing at the bottom, right? Happy New Year's 2025. Or whenever you're watching this. So now we want things like the score to only show up when the game state's in playing, right? Yeah, I'll set the color again. It just feels like the right thing to do. I'm sure it wouldn't actually matter since I'm setting it up there, but it feels right. So we just want to draw out like the rules and stuff too. So we can take these, Ah. And then the name of the game, let's say New Year's Bottle Catch. And now we're going to make a string. You can put whatever you want in here. You know, catch the balls, blah, blah, blah. So we're setting that string. Now we're going to draw it. Why don't you like that? Why? Okay, good. Perfect. And then the final one. I missed something here. We have to reset the font, right? So it's smaller. Okay. Take all these. I'm just going to... Final score like that plus string global.score. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I guess the last thing here is this. Case game state end. Okay. So since we created so many things, we now have to destroy them. Then again, what is this? Bin front, bin back, bottle. Bin front, bin front. Bin back, bin back. I am shaking. Bin bottle. Bottle. Okay. Ugh. If mouse, check. Button. Released. MB left. Global.score equals 0. Game state equals game state dot pregame. Okay. Let's give it a go. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. Cool. So, yeah. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Happy New Year's. Okay. Oh, and it comes up. I'm calling time as soon as it shows the score. So as soon as this round ends. Come on. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I mean, you know, it kind of goes, pauses, and you can mess around with those physics settings, like the image angle restitution or whatever that's called. And yeah, there are like some bugs, Like if you move out too fast, it'll go out. But, you know, if you want to turn this into something, that's something to fix. If not, it's like a fun little project. Boom. Okay. I should be able to click. Yeah. And then it restarts. Oh no. Maybe I shouldn't have called time, but it's just probably right here. That would be the last line. I'm going to do another reaction. I forgot I'm still recording. This is still in the video. Oh, man. Okay. But yeah. It's looking pretty good. Nice little New Year's game. Give you something to do, you know? Look, it goes in there so nice. I've been playing Beavis and Butthead on the Genesis and kind of inspired by those graphics. It feels a lot like it, so I think it's working. Hey, and it goes down, and then I click, boom, it restarts. Okay, there's my react. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good New Year, and I have some really fun stuff planned. I have some really fun, cool new stuff planned coming up. Okay, there we go. So yeah, please consider giving this a like and sub if you haven't already. Thank you so much, and see you next time.